started, we want to have some of our new Wayne County Ethics Board members introduce themselves, and we'll start with Mrs. Jaffa. Turn your mic on. That's fine.
My name is Siham Jafer. It's a pleasure to be among such distinguished individuals. I am Prosecutor Kim Worthy's appointee to the board, and it's a pleasure to be here. I am also a judicial tenure commissioner for the state of Michigan and sit on the Michigan Supreme Court Commission as well for inclusivity and equity. I am a former president of the Wayne County Dispute Resolution Center and president of 3D Consulting and Communications, where we do diversity training, equity and inclusion for corporations and government agencies. And thank you for having me.
Welcome. Thank you so much. Mrs. Muhammad?
My name is.
Turn your mic on. Yes.
There. Is that better?
Yep.
Okay. Good morning. My name is Maria Muhammad. It's a pleasure to be here with everyone this morning. I am the appointee of Wayne County
Wait,
Treasurer.
I think your mic is not on. Get the talk right. Yes. Thank you.
I am the appointee of the Wayne County Treasurer, Eric Sabri, and I am a Michigan Certified Assessing Officer, also a real estate specialist. I look forward to working with the commission to ensure the continued good conduct and character of the Wayne County employees.
Thank you so much and welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you. We'll go ahead with our agenda. We're going to go to item B, approval of the January 15, 2025 meeting minutes. I'll give you a few minutes to review them. Okay. Are there any questions or comments? Did everyone get a chance to review them? Okay. Do I have a motion?
I move that we accept the minutes as read.
Support.
This has been second.
Second.
Thank you. None opposed? All in favor, none opposed. The motion carries forward. Thank you. Okay, we're gonna go to unfinished business. We're gonna talk about the update from the commissioner staff with the proposed ethics ordinance amendments status. But before we ask for an update, I just wanna level set with the board, and we have some new members. I'm also gonna ask Mr. Longstreet to come off mute if he can. I just want to level set the kind of what was submitted because everybody doesn't know. I don't think you were aware, Peter. Maybe we had a few new people last year. So a lot of the things were, few things were administrative, but some of the things that I want to acknowledge so that you're aware of what, what our abilities are. One thing that we were, and we'll send copies out and we can talk about this again at the next meeting if you have questions. The one thing we were recommending was investigative powers and subpoena authority, investigative powers and subpoena authority. And we also added a dissolution of board members because that wasn't in this either. So those are some of the high level items that we were suggesting to be amended. This has been with the commissioners for about 2 years. And I know they have it on their desk and they've been reviewing it. We just haven't had a lot of movement. So just wanted to make you aware high level some of the things that were mentioned. Did you want to add anything, Mr. Longstreet?
Besides the subpoena and investigation powers, there was also disqualification of board members. That was also in the amendments. That was important.
Okay, so he didn't want to add anything. So do you have an update for us, Mrs. Parisi?
Good morning to this honorable body and welcome to our new members. It's a pleasure to meet you. My name is Mary Parisian. I'm Assistant Commission Counsel. And just exactly as the chair had said, there really hasn't been much movement. We're still waiting from our client to understand what the next step would be.
Does anyone have any questions? Okay, do you have a timeline for this year where you think we may land with even some feedback?
It's still in review. If you post along the way.
Okay, all right, thank you so much. Okay. Thank you so much. So we'll now move to new business. And we will have Mr. Longstreet review the complaint that we have.
Good morning, members of the board. First, let me say I apologize.
We'll
I'm
give a quick
currently,
review and then
Yep.
also what his recommendation was. You should have a copy of the recommendation in your packet.
can everyone hear me? Hello?
It's a single letter.
Can everyone hear me? Hello, can you hear me?
Okay.
Hello, can everyone hear me? Hello? Hello? Okay, you can't hear me through Zoom? Okay, wow.
Hello?
Hello, can you hear me? Let me, I'm actually on two devices, so let me mute these.
Mute your computer.
Okay, let's try it.
You hear me? You have to mute your device.
I've muted both of mine.
My device is muted.
Hmm.
Unless you bring it over here.
But you said mute her. Mike.
Hold on one second. Then you guys can't hear, it needs to be recorded.
Can the board hear me? Speaking.
Well, they can hear you, but it needs to be recorded on the record, and if I put you to.
Want to see if one of us can try it? Oh, Mike's away from your computer.
Can you guys hear me? Can you hear me?
I think the feedback is on your end. Can you turn the volume of one of your devices down?
Yes, sir. Oh, can everyone hear me now? Yes, sir. Okay, awesome.
Awesome.
First, let me
Let me
apologize
apologize.
to the board. I'm currently attending a federal death penalty defense conference in Houston, Texas. So unfortunately, I could not be with you today. Today is the date and time set for a hearing in the ethics board referencing the matter in re Bobby McGrew versus Deputy Derek Anderson of the Wayne County Sheriff's Department. Ms. McGrew came to the Wayne County Ethics Board with filing a complaint against Officer Anderson, indicating that has been some harassing and intimidating conduct by Officer Anderson. He was using his power and authority as a Wayne County sheriff to intimidate other parties and to intimidate her to forward his interest in a child custody dispute that the parties are currently involved in. She submitted multiple documents, witness statements, from the manager of her apartment complex. She submitted multiple videos showing the conduct of Officer Anderson. Officer Anderson did receive a copy of the complaint and did file a response to the complaint. In his response, he indicated that he denied all the allegations made by Ms. McGrew. He also provided documentation from the 16th Circuit Court of Macomb County. He provided information in regards to a friend of the court investigation of both parties, outlining all the details of the child custody dispute. after full review of all the evidence presented by both parties. It is my opinion that both parties were a little less than honest in regards to what is actually going on here. However, the matters is pretty alarming. The conduct is alarming, and I do believe it does deserve some investigation. However, the topic for our board is whether the conduct by Derek Anderson violated the ethics ordinance 40-4, use of public assets for a private purpose. 40-4 of the ethics code strictly prohibits the use of county personnel, county property to advance personal interest. In this instance, there's only one incident of all the incidents that were claimed by Ms. McGrew that actually violates the ethics code. That was a July 31st, 2020 incident where it was alleged that he went to an apartment complex in full uniform to confront Ms. McGrew in reference to a child custody order he was in receipt of. He went to a third party and asked the third party to take action in his police uniform. To me, that is a violation of the Wayne County Ethics Code. The main subject being the Wayne County Sheriff's uniform is a public asset for which he cannot use for private purposes. With that being said, it is my recommendation at this time that the board send this matter to the Wayne County Sheriff's Office Internal Affairs Division for further investigation.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Longstreet. Is there any discussion among the board? Any questions?
If that incident was a violation of the ethics code, why are you recommending we send that to the internal review board of the Wayne County Sheriff?
Well, there's a number of incidents that are spoken of, and to me, it's an alarming situation that I think that needs to be investigated further by the Wayne County Sheriff's Office. There is an incident that is in 2020, however, it's a very remote incident. The board most certainly can ask for a hearing to deal with that one specific issue of Officer Anderson going to the apartment complex and speaking to an apartment complex manager and asking that person to take action on his behalf. Ms. McGrew did provide an affidavit from that person. The person spelled out the incident, and most certainly the board can address that issue with a hearing.
And I also like to add, just for transparency, when this, can you mute? Oh, when this crossed my desk, I had some concerns about these allegations. So I reached out to the sheriff department to ask if there was any investigation going on. And there wasn't, because they had not had anything submitted. So if we do find it to be a violation, we also going to recommend so they can start to investigate on their end. You know, there's something going on and he's using this uniform as an asset of a little bit of intimidation, which the complainant seems to infer.
The main issue with the
uniform is that it can
it tells other people that are associated with this event. It
suggests a level of power and authority over that person, and they may act when they ordinarily would not have. That's why it's a serious issue of using the uniform.
Was the uniform used during the other incidents? The incident at Galilee?
No, sir. No, sir. He was in his private clothing. Every other event is
inappropriate. However, it was under his own person.
Any other discussion or questions?
Yes, I guess the issue is whether or not we're going to move.
Speaking to your mic, Dr. Ford.
I'm sorry, you hear me?
To your mic, please.
Okay, I guess the issue is whether or not we're going, is this still your recommendation that we refer it? That's your recommendation?
my recommendation. We refer it, however, the board is free to ask for a hearing on that one issue. even though you can listen and to the entire event, and hear from Ms. McGrew, because I do believe it's important to hear from her. However, our issue is whether he violated the ethics code. There is one incident, but that is the only one, and most certainly the board can ask for a hearing to address that issue.
Okay. Do we have a statute of limitation?
We have 150 days from the date the complaint was filed to have a hearing. We're about 60 days in, so we have a lot of time.
Okay, that was a complaint regarding the Galilee.
The church.
The complaint in regards to Galilee, he was not in uniform. However, he did try to influence people, including other officers, Detroit police officers. However, someone from the 36th District Court stepped in and stopped the event. However, Officer Anderson was acting under his own guide, personal guide.
Okay, and the incident at the apartment, that happened in 2020, correct?
That is correct.
So is there a statute of limitation on that?
No, sir.
Okay. Yeah, I would move that we have some testimony from the complainant just to kind of clarify what the issue might be or the issues might be. And then we can determine whether or not we need to refer it or it applies to the ethics code.
Yeah, I want to urge the sensitivity of the topic. I get we want additional information from the claimant, but I think we have some videos, we have some texts. I think we have some information that I feel we, as a board, could reach a decision so we can refer this so that it can be investigated by Wayne County Sheriffs. Because right now he's still out there. It's still stuff going on. And I think it's more than what she is saying. She's reaching out to us because this is occurring and there's some intimidation. And I just feel like if we keep pressing back, it's very sensitive.
Right.
It's domestic. So I think we should make some type of determination today. That's just my suggestion. You guys can vote however you want, but is this a violation of ethics based on the evidence we have today?
Right. And what I like to do is I like to take some testimony from the complainant, hear from the complainant, but to narrow it to specific to the ethic code, specific to our code issues. I know there are a variety of issues out there.
So what other evidence could she say that she said today in her statements, in her sworn affidavits?
Well, that could apply to section 40-4, relating to the uniforms and how power might be used in terms of the uniform to affect a certain, a goal. So I like to hear that. I think there is something there.
Yeah.
But as far as there are many other
You don't-
issues. Yeah, we need to narrow the scope of the testimony with regards to those other issues, because there may be other litigation on those issues, and then we may not have jurisdiction to look at those issues that doesn't apply to the code, the ethics code.
Can we play the videos and show the text messages before we make a motion to make sure everybody has all the information that we have? Yeah.
Sure.
A lot of them involve seeing Officer Anderson circling the apartment complex in his own personal vehicle. There's 4 videos of officers from the Wayne County Sheriff's Department that are at her apartment knocking on the door. I did have contact with some associates with the Wayne County Sheriff's Office. My understanding that those officers there appropriately, so there was no violation on that particular issue.
Just play the ones with circling, and then there's some text messages. Thank you.
I have it turning on. She one moment. The videos are being played. The video is being played now.
I think share the audio.
There's no audio on.
There's no audio? Okay, it's
this
just,
one.
okay.
This is just a
Okay.
video of him driving by the residence. Just want to speed it up a bit. It's about 2 minutes long and he only drove by one time in this video.
Only one time?
Yep.
Okay.
Oh, here's another one.
And she lives in an apartment. Okay. But he's just in a regular car, that black car? Okay,
Yes.
got it. Okay. So these were multiple occasions that he drove by each
Yes, it
video?
appears that there
Okay.
are several dates, timestamps on these videos.
So do we know the time frame of these, the dates?
This one looks like it's dated June 14th of 2024. This
2024?
current one that's being
Okay.
shown.
Counselor, those, the ones, I'm wondering if we should just maybe focus on the July 30th incident, since you've, your preliminary investigation suggests that those others are outside the scope of, section 40-4.
Affidavit, that's not captured on video. To me, all of it is alarming.
Yeah, all
Uh,
alarming. Mhm.
All of it is alarming. However, there's only one incident that involves the Wayne. So
I think it's okay to look outside the July 30th, I think it's just the evidence that there's some intimidation going on that warrants a violation and further investigation, in my opinion. The text, I don't know if you have those. Those are very alarming.
Do you
So-
want the text to be shown also? It's in
No,
the
I know,
packet.
probably not. I think you sent them to everyone.
They're inside your packet.
In the packet, they're very listed, they're name calling, they're aggressive, they're passive aggressive, threatening. So I don't want us to focus on one isolated thing and not look at this holistically when we are making a determination of next steps. That's what I encourage the board to look at. You got a question, Mr. Woods?
Well, I see conflicting dates as far as her report, July 31st, 2020, and then the letter from Attorney Longstreet, it says July 30th, 2020. It's two different days. And the other conflict is as I read the ordinance for 4-40F, F refers to food or refreshments.
40-4F,
Yes,
that is, let me go to the
of
ordinance.
not more than $75 per person.
Need to correct that. Right. Thanks. Good.
40-4F is public use of assets for private purpose.
What a reason this one.
40-4F,
Oh, you're under number 2. Yeah.
40-4F, 40-4 is the conduct. 40-4F is public.
Go to page
Private-
9,
public-
page 9. Okay, it's correct. It's page 9. Use of public assets for private purposes.
So that would be on what?
It's 40-4, section F. And it says a public servant shall use county personnel resources properly funded under the public servant's official care, prescribed constitution, statutory, regulatory procedures, and not for personal gain or benefit. All county vehicles shall be used in accordance with the county vehicle use ordinance. That's section 40-40, section F.
Hey.
Right. Okay,
That's all.
you're good?
Yep.
Okay, and then the date clarification?
Yep.
You're seeing July 31st.
That's what's in her complaint.
It's in her complaint.
July 31st.
Is that correct, Mr. Longstreet? Should it be July 31st?
This should be July 30th.
It's July 30th. Okay. All right, any further discussion?
Yeah, I just think that here, there are several multiple venues and jurisdictions that are at issue here, or potentially at issue. We have the Friends of the Court,
Right.
we have potential
PPO.
criminal court.
Yeah.
You also have potential civil court, and then you have the ethics board. And so my only recommendation is that we would attempt to narrow our scope to focus on actions that can be construed that were performed while on duty or using county property or county influence or county vehicles. Because I think our code will govern those issues, but issues that he's done in his personal, like in his private capacity, I don't think we have jurisdiction
Right.
over those.
I
And I
agree.
think there may be other collateral forms that would better handle that. So while I think it's good to look at some of this information, I think when we, narrow
Definitely.
down, we should focus on which actually applies to the code.
Look, do you have a motion you'd like to present?
Well, I just motion that we consider the information, and I also would like to get some testimony, if the complaint is available, to hear what specific concerns relative to being an officer of the Wayne County that, and why the complainant feels that office was used, or that the influence was used to further his goal of harassment. And because that applies directly to the code. And so, and
So you
any
re-
other incident. So I like to
Sorry.
narrow, the motion is to narrow the search, our investigation to issues related directly to Mr. Anderson's capacity with the sheriff department and how it relates to the complainant.
Okay, that's the motion.
Well, I second it because as I read through the response from the complainant, he didn't even address that date in his
Right.
response. He didn't address July, he didn't address July 30th. It went from So we should just have them come in, have both of them come in
All in
to
favor?
address it.
Aye.
None opposed, motion approved. All right, so good discussion. Thank you, everyone. Let's move further in the agenda. Now we're down to section E, such other matters that may properly be submitted to the board. Do we have any items that need to be submitted to the board? Yes. Hi. Yes, you can. I'm just been made aware of it today. Did you want to just present it and then, or do we want to have a vote today? Okay,
There has to have.
that's to be a vote. Okay. It was just brought to my attention that it may be beneficial to the board that I have unilateral decision in changing the meeting dates and time. And we would need the vote, the board to vote on that. So I would need a motion and a second to have that authority if you want me to have it.
Chair. I move to get a chair of the authority to have unilateral authority to adjust the meeting times and schedules.
I'll second that.
Okay, the motion has been properly moved in second and approved. Thank you. Oh, sorry, all in favor?
Aye.
None opposed. Motion approved. Thank you so much. Do we have any public comments today?
No emails were received and there are no hands on Zoom.
Okay. And now I propose adjournment. Oh. Is there anyone in the audience that have public comments? Okay. Now I move for adjournment. I can't move, sorry. The next scheduled item is adjournment.
For adjournment. Second.
Second. One thing I'm gonna get out of my mindset of being a. Okay. Okay. We're waiting to see if there were any public comments.
With adjournment.
Okay, thank you all.